Meghan, in principle, is on her best behavior in order to get the royal return
Yes.
and to really like finish the job, to bring it home, to close the deal, as the Americans would say. But it ain't going to happen because she can't help herself.
Can't help herself.
And Meghan cannot do well behaved. She doesn't know well behaved. It's not in her makeup or in her gift. She can't do it. Why? Because she has a addiction to noise, to publicity, to attention. And that will be greater than any caution about her royal return.
She needs that. She needs the headlines after her birthday too much to
You got it.
have the patience. Hi, all, Kinsey Schofield here, and we are on a date with Dolan. Mark Dolan, that is. You're in Cali. How was your trip over here?
It was amazing. Virgin Atlantic. I turned right on the plane, which is not because of my funds or my income levels. I could easily go club class, but I'm super authentic. And I like to be with working class people because they're so cheery and upbeat.
Uh-huh.
And normally I could be with my people, which is the highly accomplished
Right.
rich folk. But I just like these characters. You know, they've got something about them. So I turned right on the plane. I enjoyed the economy meal, which gave me mild stomach cramps. And then also a quick evacuation twice in the flight.
Okay, that's...
But do you know, I will say one thing. A friend of mine, I was filming with Channel 4 doing documentaries. She got the worst gastric influenza and she was struggling, but she said, and then we all got it. And she said, Mark, think of the weight loss.
Oh my God, maybe that's what... Actually, we just had that here in the States with the Taco Bell and the lettuce.
It's the new Ozempic.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
But no, I'm really excited to be here. I love your show. I love being on it. I think you talk so much sense about the royals. I think you care. And that's why, you know, it's so nice to hang out with you.
I know, it's nice hanging out with you in real life too. One thing that we have behind the scenes still been debating and not been able to get over is this meeting at Highgrove between Prince Harry and King Charles. There's just a very desperate narrative that all is forgiven and we are inches away from a full reconciliation because of a 45-minute tea. And I have to disagree, and I think you might be on my team here when it comes to the realistic the realistic situation that Harry and Meghan have done way more than a 45-minute tea can fix.
Most definitely. I think that they were very lucky that Charles offered Harry accommodation at Buckingham Palace, which of course we know became a public relations disaster. But the offer was made. That was a win for Harry, even if it turned nasty, which with Harry and Meghan it always does. I think that the fact that Harry returned to the UK just now with the King's blessing was a triumph. And then Meghan, Archie and Lily and Harry on royal property, on the hallowed turf of Highgrove House was extraordinary. And I think that they're very lucky, but I think that the pro-Sussex press are over-interpreting it, as you're suggesting, like, that's it, he's home and hosed. Not true. It's my understanding that King Charles is still super cautious about Harry, but he's looking at the bigger picture. Blood is blood. I want to see my grandkids. And this is not, from my understanding, and the mood music within palace circles is not, you know, all is forgiven and I like Meghan again and all of that. Forget it. It's focused predominantly on Archie Lee. It's also Charles wanting to tie up this loose end. You know, he doesn't like the soap opera, and he thinks by slowly welcoming Harry back into the royal fold that he ends that soap opera, he stops the noise. What he doesn't realize, because he's a kindly but naive man, is he's making the noise louder.
Yeah, cut it off.
Yeah.
If we followed the Sussex theory that the royal family is racist and terrible, and you know, they made Meghan's life a living hell and continue to do so according to some of the reports about her feeling like an outsider, etc., then why does the pro-Sussex, you know, journalist encourage this? Why wouldn't you feel a sense of betrayal that
Correct.
Harry and Meghan were going back?
You're so right. None of it adds up.
Hey everyone, Kinsey Schofield here, and I want to tell you about today's sponsor. It's a total game changer, Peak's Liver Detox Protocol. You may not know it, but your liver handles a lot. energy, hormones, digestion, and even your mood. But with all the stress and toxins from everyday life, it needs some love. Forget harsh cleanses. Peak delivers gentle daily support inspired by traditional Chinese medicine. Their routine uses two simple blends. The first is a warming turmeric mix with cinnamon and black pepper, designed to help the body absorb it better and support the liver while calming inflammation. The second is a ginger and cinnamon blend that helps with blood flow, digestion, bloating, and immune support. The magic is how they work together to activate and flush for better digestion, stable energy, less brain fog, and that light, clear feeling. My energy is consistent, my skin is clear, and less bloating. That's peak where spirit meets science. Redefine your standard of health, secure 20% off your order, and begin your intentional wellness journey today at peaklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. Thanks so much.
And why are they going back?
Yeah.
Make it make sense. The reason is it doesn't make sense because it wasn't true. There was, in my opinion, no royal racist. Why did the couple instantly change their story 24 hours after the Oprah interview and say, we meant unconscious bias?
Yeah.
Already they were on the slippery slope. And let's not forget, our mutual friend Oprah Winfrey has now disowned that interview. So it's no longer an historic document.
Are you friends with Oprah? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I got in via Stedman because we play squash together.
It's pickleball around here.
Yeah, and also we've been to Aspen, Colorado. Stedman's a good man. He drinks too much, and I've told him as much.
Yeah.
You know.
Put it
and
away.
then I had an encounter with Oprah, who I really liked. She's very flirtatious.
I think our
and
food is coming.
I'm a married man, Oprah. Keep your hands to yourself.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited about this. This is brilliant. We're here in Southern California
Yes.
in a non-specific location because
Thank
you've
you
got so many
much.
fans. There would be a stampede if they knew exactly where you are.
I'm
Thank
going to
you.
be so rude and just eat right
But
now.
let me tell you where we're at the flagship Wendy's in Southern California. This food looks really, really good, actually.
Yeah. Yours looks delicious. You went with a lobster roll.
I love the lobster roll because I'm worth
Classic
it.
chicken sandwich for me.
This is all really good. Thank you very much. We're
Thank you,
looking
sir.
after us very well.
I mean, I think that the reason why we continue to hear about Highgrove is people are trying to use it as proof that there's friction between King Charles and Prince William. And I think that William might understand why a grandfather might want to meet or spend, I mean, truly meet, realistically meet. This was only the second or third time he'd seen those children in real life. I think William understands the human side that he might want to see his grandchildren. But I don't think that William's not talking to his father right now because he spent 45 minutes with Harry and Meghan.
No, and
Do you believe those
I know, I agree with you. William is not that vindictive. You know, we know that he's furious with his brother, and rightly so. But he and Charles have a respectful working relationship. I can't say that they're besties.
Yeah.
And I certainly think it's interesting talking to the likes of Tom Sykes, who takes the view that Harry and Charles are quite similar in nature, both quite rebellious, both quite thin-skinned,
environmentally, edgy because they are talking about things that they get in trouble for when it comes to politics.
Well, this is it. And, talking to Tom Sykes is interesting because he just takes the view that because Harry and Charles are more alike, then Charles is empathetic to Harry, that there's that connection. And what you got with William, who's more like Diana, is a little bit of a conflict
you
point.
said that Harry and Charles are very similar? Is
According,
that what you
in
said?
nature, according to Tom
Oh.
Sykes, which I think is an interesting angle that I hadn't really thought through.
I thought you said William and Charles, and then I was like,
No.
oh, okay.
No. I mean, I think not. And I think that, it's interesting that Tom Bowers' book about King Charles is called Rebel King.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thesis of the book. And love or hate Harry, you can't deny that he's something of a rebel himself, and actually always has been.
Yeah.
Always been a troublemaker, always got himself in hot water, no more so than with the book Spare, etc. But I also think one of the reasons why Charles indulges Harry is whether or not they're very similar in nature and makeup is one thing. And is William too much like Diana for Charles to really like and respect him?
Is he? I think that Prince William is very much like Queen Elizabeth.
That's a nice angle.
Because he loved his mother, but his mother was emotionally abused her access to him. I think she put too much on a young man and a son. He he was the one slipping tissues underneath the door because he could hear her crying on the other side of the bathroom.
No kid should have to do that.
Yeah, and I think that he loved his mother, but he recognized that there was something wrong with his mother, and I do think that he has empathy and compassion, and we actually see him in a way express that in a way that we don't see Harry and Meghan. They just tell us how empathetic and compassionate they are. But I think that William recognized that Diana wasn't perfect and that there were problems with her. I think who had the biggest influence on him was Queen Elizabeth. Those weekends and walking to
she was a rock for him.
Yeah.
He loved having tea with Granny.
Eat some too, please.
But
I feel like I'm snacking and you're not.
The problem is we're in California. We're quite near Hollywood, and so you're not supposed to eat. Carbohydrates are actually
against the law.
It's a Class A substance, isn't it?
With our paper straws.
I saw the other day, I was in this cafe in West Hollywood, and there was an aspiring actress, and she had some bread near her, and a SWAT team arrived.
Yeah, I'm glad that.
And they took her out.
They stepped in.
They took her down to the station, and they gave her a good talking to. But, you know, the bottom line is that you're right. Highgrove House, that's not the beginning and the end of it. It's not like Harry and Meghan are back. On probation.
Ew, you would even say on probation.
I think that Charles is watching it carefully. And it's interesting that he didn't have that meeting on his own. He had Camilla there. Camilla, by the way, taking one for the team. No love lost between her and Harry after him characterizing her as the wicked stepmother in the book Spare. And she's protective of Charles, doesn't want anything that would hurt Charles. Well, that's all Harry has done for the last 6 years.
Right.
But she goes because she loves her husband.
Yeah.
And as our brilliant, another mutual friend of ours, as well as Oprah, is Robert Jobson, royal journalist. And he said that Camilla was their support for Charles. Pretty wild, by the way, that a father needs someone to support him to meet his son.
Right.
That's how emotionally unsafe life is with the Sussexes.
Right.
But a witness.
A witness.
So that recollections may vary. That Harry and Meghan can't lie about what happened and about what was said and call someone else racist, or say that the tea leaves, the tea bags were racist, or the clotted cream was racist, or the cutlery was racist.
Which are all big concerns.
I've seen racist cutlery and it's ugly. So I could barely eat. I did eat. I was hungry. I ate with racist cutlery. I'm not proud of that. But got my protein goals.
But
no,
you
seriously.
asked for forgiveness afterwards. That's the important.
But yeah, I mean, you nailed it. That is the headline. Is Highgrove is not the beginning of the end of it. And I think that the Sussexes are going to have to tread very carefully. The other interesting thing
do you feel like they are treading very carefully because Meghan pushing back on Martha Stewart, saying, I overheard her talking about the trip. Now, we know she was not supposed to talk about the trip, which is why the story became such a huge deal, because she allegedly broke the rules. She comes back and says, absolutely not. No, I didn't. And so also in seeing them at David Foster's charity event, I do think that they're just making these little moves, trying to look like saints and trying to stay in the good graces of the British royal family. But then she posts those weird birthday videos and photos, and you're just like, Kat and the Princess of Wales would have never done that. So obviously they're not looking at the bigger picture.
You nailed it. I mean, this is a second slam dunk from you in today's conversation, because actually what you're saying, and I agree with, is that Meghan, in principle, is on her best behavior in order to get the royal return and to really finish the job, to bring it home, to close the deal, as the Americans would say. But it ain't going to happen because she can't help herself.
Can't help herself.
And Meghan cannot do well behaved. She doesn't know well behaved. It's not in her makeup or in her gift. She can't do it. Why? Because she has a addiction to noise, to publicity, to attention. And that will be greater than any caution about her royal return.
She needs that she needs the headlines after her birthday too much to
You got it.
have the patience. Isn't that sad?
Yes, and the reason why is because, as we talked about on my show,
The Mark Dolan Show.
yeah, which is not as good as this, I can't lie, but what's good about your
Better
show,
sound quality.
it makes me better. See, your show is so good, it pulls the level up a little bit. Anyway, so, but as we were saying, Meghan, she doesn't have anything. There's no great skill set there. The business empire is non-existent. She doesn't act anymore. The TV and movie production projects are at best on hold. So she hasn't got anything. That's why she needs the noise. And because if she doesn't have that, there's no supply to her ego. She has to have the supply. That is asking a human being not to have oxygen, or Meghan not to have headlines, in my opinion.
And do you agree that, because I've seen, I can't remember his name, Simon something, again, doing their media rounds saying that Harry's proof that they could have done the half in, half out. I mean, do you agree that the institution is so important that it should run like a corporation? There are headlines saying Prince William acts more like a CEO than an heir. And what company would welcome somebody back with open arms that has jeopardized the privacy of that company, the private conversations, private instances, not just jeopardized it through the media, but monetized it, like made money off of it. If you worked for any of the companies we work for, we could not, our badges would stop working if we did some of the things Harry and Meghan did.
Most definitely. And I was on the Piers Morgan produced Royals Uncensored just a few weeks ago. And I had somebody that was quite pro-Sussex on the show, which I welcome, because I think it's really good to debate these things. But she talked about this journalist, Catherine Mayer, very nice lady, very accomplished journalist. But she talked about how the royals don't have enough family members to actually do the job of the monarchy. The slimmed down monarchy is like proving to be a real problem. Who's going to open the hospital wings? Who's kissing the babies? And I acknowledge that point. But her suggestion is that's the way back for the Sussexes, is to help out, right? To do some of the heavy lifting. Now, that's definitely half in, half out, which is a betrayal of the Queen's original deal, Queen Elizabeth. Secondly, getting help from Harry and Meghan and the royal family is like a hen house getting help from a fox.
Exactly. Because my issue with Meghan as the David Foster event was, initially when I just saw them on the red carpet, I thought, I'm not going to criticize them. They're there for charity. You know, there's nothing to criticize here. But then when I saw the behind the scenes video of Meghan looking over her shoulder, making sure whoever was reporting her, and I realized she was just there for Meghan, that would be what they would be dealing with if they invited those two back to do engagements. It would be behind the scenes of Meghan, like, make sure you buy my outfit. And that's just impossible. Like, it's just so frustrating.
And that's why this is very serious, and why your use of the word frustrating is right, because we're talking here about an institution that you and I both admire, which is the monarchy. And on that same show, I upset a lot of people on the show by saying that Harry and Meghan are dangerous.
I think that they jeopardize the future of the monarchy.
I would use the word danger. It's genuine peril.
I would also say, having talked to Will Geddes, who works with high-profile, high-profile, what does he call them? Principals, clients. He says that in Harry and Meghan going on Oprah Winfrey and accusing the entire establishment of not taking their mental health seriously and of being racists, they then in turn, now they did come back and say a day later that it wasn't grandma or grandpa that were the racists. But, oh gosh, this person's going to smoke. I didn't think we smoked in California anymore. So
he's old school.
Yeah, he is.
There's somebody sitting near us who's smoking a cigarette.
So rude. Anyway.
He also, I will tell you, had a conversation with him in the bathrooms.
Did you?
And it's like Me Too never happened. He's basically, the guy lives in the year 1981.
Well, that's what he smells like.
He reached for me and a part of my anatomy that we won't go into on a family show. And I said, you can't afford it, princess. Put it away.
Put it away. But what was I even saying? I don't even know what I was saying.
I think you were just pointing out that the peril, the danger to the institution.
Oh, but in accusing the royal family of racism, they increased harassments and threats towards the Prince and Princess of Wales
Of
and
course.
other members of the royal family, because in alluding to racism without, without the receipts or without explaining.
He said, she said.
Yeah, they put a question mark over multiple members' heads, and then attacks, started rolling in social media wise and others on these other members. So I think that the word dangerous is an appropriate an appropriate way to describe them.
And I predict, Kinsey, that there will be a slow, gradual royal return, but it won't be half in, half out, because William is not in charge, but he has influence. He's effectively the king-elect.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only so much Charles can do by way of welcoming Harry back without inspiring the ire and rage of William. King Charles has to keep William happy to a degree.
I agree.
And therefore, what you're going to see in my, I predict,
Can I have another? I think.
is, by the way, 'cause a lot of the viewers think that Kinsey is having Coca-Cola. It's predominantly rum. It's Jamaican white rum. And then like just a tiny drop of Coca-Cola to change the color.
That is not true. But I will.
in-
I'm complaining about the cigarette smoke and
And
the paper straws.
Well, I'm going to be sympathetic about your excessive drinking, and I'll tell you for why. Because you have to deal with the Sussexes every day. And if that doesn't turn you to alcohol, I don't know what is.
You're crazy.
But yeah, no. So this is the great sort of protector of the whole project is William.
Right.
And Charles can be as foolish and naive as he wants to be, which he is.
Soft-hearted,
All
yeah.
of that, blood is blood. But there's a limit to what he can do, because he knows, A, he's got to keep his son William on board, getting him ready for the monarchy. Also, because he knows that William is going to reverse all of it when he becomes king. And it would be awkward if, let's say, that Harry is basically a member of the royal family.
Thank you, sir. Is there rum? There's rum in this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. See, look, no one's pretending anymore.
Thank you.
I actually talked to Stedman about your drinking. He said she's a great girl. Don't knock it till you tried it. But yeah, so I think
I
it's
think
going to be
that's
okay.
a
I
good-
think the headline is that there
Prince
is
William is the future. Prince William
he is, and he's the insurance policy, and he's the elastic limit. He's the ultimate protector of the faith, as it were. And things are changing. So King Charles enjoying better health than was anticipated, which is great news. It's given him confidence. He's like, actually, I'm going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
And I want to sort out the Harry thing. And because he doesn't want the drama. He doesn't like the soap opera. We know about that from the book Spare. One of the few true things in the book was that quote by Harry in regard to his father saying, can you please, you two boys, don't make the rest of my life a misery. And so therefore he wants a quiet life. He wants to resolve the Harry thing. He also, it's his youngest son. I think they are quite similar in character. Wants the grandkids. Charles can live with Meghan. He'll put up with Meghan. You know, it probably helps that she's a kind of glamorous actress. He probably quite, I'd imagine she flatters him a little bit, would you say?
He tolerates it.
There you go. So with all told, you're looking at a gradual royal return, but nothing significant and nothing that's going to really upset William.
My audience is going to hate that. They want them in exile.
I know. Well, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
And
I wouldn't do it, Charles.
I'm not going to deprive, would you agree, King Charles of seeing his grandkids?
Are they his grandkids, or are they, James Hewitt's grandchildren?
It's another conversation, of course. I see the rum has definitely kicked in. Here's the thing. That he wants to see his grandkids. They didn't have to meet at Highgrove House.
Yeah.
Meghan didn't have to be there. She shouldn't have been there. Meghan has betrayed the royal family.
Yes.
She should never, ever be back on royal property. So I was horrified that Highgrove House happened. They could have met at some sort of luxurious 5-star hotel. They could have taken a suite at Claridge's or maybe the private home of an aristocrat.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Soho House.
But to go to where Charles lets his hair down, where he
Yeah.
talks to the geraniums,
That sacred space.
where William and Harry played hide and go seek as children. Can you help me with this, by the way? Because I've got a big American audience on my show. And I thought Americans call hide and seek hide and go seek.
I call it that.
Hide and go seek. But I got a lot of angry responses from my American viewers saying we say hide and seek as well.
Yeah, you say it both ways, but
The Americans say both.
I would say hide and go seek.
Correct. Do you
Can
think
I
that
try
the
on your
word
glasses?
Do you think the word go is necessary? Find it a little surplus to requirements? Hide and
I think
seek?
so.
What does the go
necessary.
at?
Do
Hide
I
and
look
go
good
seek?
in these? Like I've been looking at them
You
all
really
day.
do, actually.
Do I need to buy
Yeah,
them?
you know what you look like to me?
What?
A young Kim Kardashian. Yeah.
Well, where's Ray J?
And you can only hope for a
These
film
are so
career,
cute. Thank
career
you.
like hers.
Yes, if the film career is really important.
I've enjoyed her work online for many years. She's very underrated. I've never seen acting like it.
You're a heathen. All right, agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know in the comments below. This is just chat amongst friends over a lobster roll, and I'm so glad Mark Dolan's in my city. I'm going to take advantage of every second I have with him, and I am going to give him a bottle of As Ever Rosé when he drops me off.
Yikes.
So that he has something to remember me by. Thanks so much for spending the afternoon with us. We'll see you again very soon. Bye, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, guys.